What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dean, aka the Blue Crusader, and today I'm going to be visiting some old Minecraft maps. Yesterday I played my old Minecraft maps from around 8 years ago, which I created, but in this video we're going to be playing some super old maps which are downloaded online. Now if you've been playing Minecraft for a long time, you may know what some of these maps are and they may be super nostalgic for you. I've downloaded some of the most popular maps from 2010 and 2011, and we're just going to check them out and see what the maps are like. Some of these maps I've played in the past and some of them I've never touched before, but they all have that classic Minecraft feel, and the whole building style and look of the maps are completely different to anything that you'll find in today's versions. So we've downloaded a few different maps. So the first one is Jahrmarkt, okay, this is basically just means fun fair in German, and this map is a huge fun fair map. Here is the list of all the different maps which we have to go through today. This video might be a long one because we actually have a lot of different maps to go through. So we're actually playing on Minecraft 1.2 today, which is a super old version because that was the version that all of these maps were actually built on back in 2011, and we're in the fun fair, so you can see this says welcome. That's pretty cool how they've actually used the asterisk signs to make each letter of this word. That's really cool. I didn't know you could even do that with signs. There's some genius symbols you can actually use. I love how inside the bathroom, when we just open the door, the toilet is just one block of flowing water. Like, where are you supposed to sit? Are you supposed to sit on this tile, or do you just sit inside the water? That's not a very good design. Then we have this huge pier which stretches out into the water, which is pretty cool because we actually start off with a couple of boats and minecarts. So I'm guessing the boats are for the pier if we want to use a ship to sail away in. And then I presume since it's some kind of fun fair, we'll probably see maybe a type of roller coaster that we can use these minecarts on. If we look up there already is a Ferris wheel and a big roller coaster frame, which I'm super excited to actually go check out. Petting zoo. Okay, interesting. So they've got some mob spawners down here, and there's some sheep that spawn, and then on the other side we have some pigs. This is very early Minecraft, so very basic mobs which spawn here. There's not really much of a selection. As you can see, we can actually enter all of the different enclosures through these doors if we want to work in the zoo. And inside here is like a little bit of a biodome, but there's nothing actually in here. I presume there should probably be some mobs in there, but there's nothing inside. That still looks pretty cool though. So here's the pigs. Over here we have another mob spawner, which hasn't spawned anything just yet. I think what would be better is if they actually added some signs on here to actually say what stuff are. Ah, okay, this is for cows. So probably the most boring zoo so far, just cows, sheep and pigs, I guess. But I think back in this version of Minecraft there really was not much of a selection whatsoever. And then the chickens are just roaming free around here. They probably escaped the stables. Okay, I have no clue what this is, but this actually looks pretty cool. I didn't realize how well glowstone and gold blocks actually blended together. I'm thinking of maybe making a build out of these two different blocks. What do you think? This is like the old school style of Minecraft building. Like, you would not find anything that looks like this anymore because people are just trying to be too advanced and make things that just look amazing nowadays. This is the Minecraft which I enjoy. The 2010-2011 Minecraft, where all the building style is just kind of basic, but it has that cool charm to it. Okay, so wild water slide. So you can already hear the water, and you can see the water particles through the roof. So the water is literally dripping through the roof, which is not a good sign. I wonder how high we have to walk up. Is this the highest it goes? Oh, snap, it actually goes pretty high up. So we walk around on this path, or if you just want to kind of be super daring, you could do what I'm doing and just jump across, which might not end well. Okay, so we go up these steps, and then there's nowhere to go. Maybe I just jump inside here? This would be so much easier if we were in creative mode, because right now it just feels like I'm playing parkour. So on this version of Minecraft as well, if you try and use cheats to change your game mode, you just can't, because if you press any of the buttons to go into the chat mode, it's just not possible. Okay, without creative mode, that's pretty impossible to go up that water slide. Unless we actually do this and we jump up here. But I don't think we're going to get all the way up here though. The further we go up, the higher it gets. It goes 2 blocks high. I think we will mess the map up by doing this, but this is the only way we can do it. We're going to have to use a little bit of a build hack to jump up the side. It will really make it look horrible from the outside though, with all these dirt blocks. So this is how the ride is supposed to be if you actually find your way up to the top and you don't cheat. And we can go up the water slide. Now what would be interesting is obviously we could just dive down and just slide off. It would be better in the later versions of Minecraft where you could swim as well. But I'm thinking we can actually ride down with a boat. I'm not sure how this is going to end. I don't know if this is going to end well. Maybe the boat will break. But I'm just interested to try it because I think it'd be so much cooler. Oh, snap. Look at that drop, though. Okay, so the boat does break. So that didn't end well. But it was actually pretty cool how much of a drop there was, like, as soon as we hit that wave. Okay, now I'm just going to go in the boat again because it's just so annoying to actually ride that thing without a boat. The only problem is the water current is just so strong that it just breaks the boat every single time. So I think I'm going to go out of this ride because this ride is just too dangerous for me. The pirate boat swing. Okay, that sounds interesting. Oh, snap. Okay, we've got some kind of minecarts. I don't know if we're supposed to, like... Okay, this is very anticlimactic. I'm not enjoying this at all. Maybe there's something that we have to do. Or maybe that's just the whole ride. Just flopping around on the minecart. The ice pavilion. Ah, okay. Oh, this is pretty cool. So we have an ice ring. Unfortunately, we can't really do much in it, though. Other than just like slide along. Okay, let's cross this bridge and go to the other side of the theme park. This thing is absolutely massive. I honestly don't know how we're going to go through this. So this is kind of like a bumper carts looking thing. Autodrome. I guess we just go around on a minecart. The only problem about all these rides though is you can't actually go around on the minecart unless you physically push it yourself, which means you have to get out and then it just slows down. Like, powered rail's been in Minecraft for a long time, but for some reason people just chose not to use it, which makes most of these rides just function absolutely terribly. The Wonder Wheel. Defy gravity and touch the clouds. So I'm interested to see if anybody in modern day Minecraft has built a Ferris wheel that actually works. I would be super impressed if someone could do that. I know that would be obviously possible with mods, but I wonder if anyone's actually built a fully working redstone Ferris wheel. Because I was on one of these Ferris wheels like a week ago, and it'd be pretty cool to actually remake it in Minecraft. But this is just another one of those builds where it looks really nice from the outside, but unfortunately there's just no functionality on it. Because there's no motors or moving pivots in Minecraft to actually build anything like that. I think this is some kind of horror house. This is the Geisterbahn. Okay, so I think that means ghost train. Remember, this map is made by some German map maker. So Geisterbahn I think means ghost train. So how do we ride this thing? Okay, so the minecart's stuck here and I lose health if I go there. Like I said before, this is really frustrating how they just have no powered rails. Because how can I go through this thing when the minecarts don't even move properly? And it also says don't get off of the train. So if we get off, do I get stuck in the wall or do I die? Oh, wait, we're going down some track. We're going to gather some more speed and momentum. Oh, but we don't have enough power to go up that rail. Okay, I'm just going to manually walk through this. This is not how the experience was supposed to be. So this is supposed to be a horror house where you go through with a train. And there's probably supposed to be like skeletons or creepers in there. Obviously we're on peaceful mode, so there's not going to be anything that's going to try and kill us in here. Okay, I'm going to ruin the whole experience by just illuminating the whole thing with torches. So this thing goes through kind of like a fake nether. I think this is a fake nether. Maybe it's even a real nether. I honestly think if this map was in creative mode and we did a few adjustments to it to make this whole mine system actually work, I think this would be a really cool fairground ride. They just need to add a little bit of powered rail and activator rail into this to make it work properly. Okay, all I need to do now is just jump all the way to the top to get out of this place. Okay, that's enough of that horror house, because it doesn't seem to work properly, but I reckon that would be really cool if we made a few changes to it. Okay, I've had enough of this theme park map. I think it looks really nice, but I'm kind of getting bored of most of the rides since they don't work. I'm interested to try this out though. This is the final ride in the map. This is called the roller coaster, which I'm guessing means roller coaster or it's some kind of name for it. How do I actually get on this thing? Okay, the entrance is this way. Okay, let's follow the signs. So there's already minecarts waiting for us. Yet again, the map maker has no clue what powered rails are. Maybe they weren't a thing back in 1.2.5, although I'm pretty sure they were. So how are you supposed to gather any momentum from this roller coaster if there's nothing to power up the minecart? That's what I'm trying to ask. I think what I'll do is I'll go to the very top of the ride and I'll actually go down in a minecart from the very top, and then we should be able to gather some kind of momentum. I'm not sure how far it'll actually take us though, because it probably won't last very long. Okay, this is what it's all about. This is a pretty far down drop. If I just climb up here, this should be a little bit better. You have to admit though, for how old this map is, it's actually really well built. this should work. You see, it's actually really cool when you can actually use it and it actually works. The only problem is it can only go down because we can't get any push to go upwards. This is going to eventually slow down and then go all the way back down again. Okay, so the next map is called Sushi Iowa. I don't know what this is. I think it's some kind of Japanese temple. Okay, let's take a look at this. So we have a really cool courtyard. I think this is based off Japanese or Chinese culture. We have a huge big temple dojo looking thing. I do admit that this is actually pretty nice. I mean, to say how old the Minecraft version is, it's built out of fence, wood, wool and cobblestone, but it still actually looks really great. Like, I would actually like to build something similar like that just out of basic blocks like this does. I still think that my skyblock temple's better, but I think this is pretty good for how old this version is. So there's a huge temple in here, and then over here we have this massive spiral fountain, which is unlike anything that I've seen, which is made out of lava and water in kind of like a figure 8 style. That actually looks really nice. So we can see that from like a mile away, and then next to it there's a smaller one which actually goes down just about halfway. I think that looks really nice. I've not seen anything like that in a map before. And we have a few small shelters which are on the seaside, which is pretty cool. That's kind of like a classic gazebo building. And this whole place, bear in mind, is completely surrounded by walls. We have a huge big wall, so this is like a huge kingdom or some massive castle. And on each wall we have a massive gigantic watchtower as well. And we have quite a few of them, as you can see. The wall stretches for quite a far away until it stops around the water. And I think this is a gate to come in down there. There's a massive gate which has these big glowstone and netherrack blocks in it, which looks really cool. Let's go up the stairs and see what's at the top of this build. Remember, all these builds are the most popular ones from 2010 and 2011, so they're pretty good maps, but these maps are basically the best of what those years had to offer in Minecraft, so it's come a long way. People have built a lot better stuff since then, but these still are pretty impressive by those standards. So we have some more fountains made out of lava. I still do really like the old look of the mossy cobblestone where it was more vibrant and green instead of that dull dark green colour that they use now. Let me see if I can actually find a way up on this castle wall, because this looks really cool at the top. And this is the castle wall. It goes for absolutely miles, and then when you look down there's just a huge valley side below and then a big bridge. So there's two entrances, the one with a huge gate which we saw before, and then also this one which goes across a bridge. So there's two different ways to enter it. There's not really much outside there, and there's a few chopped trees. I guess you could go out and play survival out there, but you don't really need to gather any materials when you have a base this big. So yeah, it stretches basically for the whole valley. There's not really much inside the castle walls further than this point, but as you can see, the castle walls themselves stretch out super far. This is an absolutely massive build. I reckon it'd take a long time to walk around the whole thing. Okay, the next one is the biodome. Just like before, I don't really think we can explore this thing properly because we're not in creative mode, unfortunately. I don't have a clue why the creators left this in survival mode because there's no way for us to get up. But if we jump up here, we should be able to take a good look. I'm going to have to climb all the way to the top of the mountain to actually get vision on it. Basically, this huge map is a huge needle with a biodome on top. A biodome is basically like a self-contained glass sphere which has things like plant life and mobs inside. And you can see this thing looks super cool, like there's huge trees in there, you can see plants. That would be a really nice place to build in. And the base is kind of made out of, I think, normal smooth stone, which goes down and then it changes shape in the middle like an hourglass. This is actually a really nice build. I'm curious if they actually built it manually or if they used a map editor to actually help build this. But this looks really cool. You could build something like this on a server. I think it would be a really nice piece in a server spawn. And then, as you can see over here, there's a path which goes up, and then there's a set of stairs which actually cuts up into the mountains. So I'm not sure if there's anything in that direction. I think I'm going to go explore. I think the only thing which is in that direction is just this tower, which has a sidewalk to get to it at the top, which is just a viewing point. I think the map maker made that so you could actually have a better view of the biosphere from the outside. So I'm going to head to those stairs and try and get on that high point and actually see what's inside, because I think we'll get a better view if we actually go all the way over there. And what's interesting is you can see it's super dark under here, and you have all these grey particles if you look around, which are the particles that you usually get when you go all the way down to bedrock level, which just goes to show how deep and how low in terms of block height, this build is. Now this is interesting, I didn't know that this was a thing either. Not only can you actually go up into this viewing point out here, there is actually an entrance to get inside the biosphere. So I thought the whole thing was self-contained and you couldn't get in from the outside. But there's a huge staircase on the inside which we can use to actually get up to the top. Now if we actually look up, this thing is pretty high up. Like, we have to take quite a few flights of stairs to actually get to the top. Okay, so this is the last flight of stairs, and then this will actually enter us inside the biodome. So, turns out there is actually a way inside. So inside, this is just like a basic biome, as you can see. You can see the seed of the map. When we go on F3, it doesn't show the biome, but this is just kind of like a basic normal forest biome with some flowers all around and some sand, things like mushroom. I guess you could try and destroy some of the blocks inside here and build a house. This would actually be really interesting. I think what would be a great video for the channel is if we did like a biodome, biosphere survival where we tried to survive in one of these things. I think that would be a really cool survival series. Comment below if you think that's a good idea, if you want me to survive in a glass dome like this. But other than that, there's just the viewing point outside here, which I guess we can go to now just to take a look at. There probably won't be much there though, but it's kind of creepy how dark it gets, and then the further away you get from the biosphere, the lighter it becomes, but it's a really cool effect. So when you go through here, it's really strange because the whole mountain just parts two ways, and you can see both left and right walls of inside the mountain when we go up these steps. It's kind of like you're going in the middle of the Red Sea when it's being parted. It's actually really cool how they built this. And when we go to the top, there's a left winding staircase which takes a turn, and then we get to the top of the mountain. So up here you can see there's not really much here, but for some reason the stairs do continue, which has me intrigued. So I'm not sure what's down that direction, and you can see there's just a big sand desert. Now if we look down here, this whole thing's divided too. It's like they've split a little bit of the map, like just one big chunk out of it that just goes into the void, and I think that's water down there. So it's like it goes into the void, but there's a huge big canal of water which is flowing from here, and then it drops down there, and then we can see bedrock. So this is a really weird thing. I don't think we could jump across there, so I'm not going to chance that. I am curious to go to that lookout point first and then follow that path to see if that leads anywhere. But you can tell that they've used a map editor now, because this is just so weird how they've cut into the side of this mountain. And there's this strange forest where the whole thing is just all merged together, so it's like impossible to actually go through in between the trees. So as you can see, we basically have to do some more parkour to actually climb on these trees to actually get around to get close to this lookout point. But when we go closer, you can see we can actually find this pathway and then go across, and for some reason there's just a random cow hiding between that tree. So like we said before, this is all it is. It's just a lookout point, so it's actually pretty perfect to actually look over here and see the visual of the base over there. But that's basically all it's good for, because there's not really anything around here other than that. So this path which we came up leads a little bit further down here. Okay, so I'm just going to keep following this path and see if it actually leads anywhere, because you can see the path kind of goes up the mountain here and then it just stops, and then if we peek over the side, this is where the drop of doom is. So what if some okay, I just jinxed myself so hard. I was literally going to say, what if somebody walked along there not knowing what they were in for, and then they just fell off? I was holding shift thinking that it would stop me from falling off, but then I realised I'm on an older version of Minecraft, so it just doesn't help, and then I just dropped. Somehow fell into that little cave as well, which I think is pretty skilled, and then I just got killed by lava. I did not mean to do that. Then we have the Falcon Flyer, so I think this is another fairground map. Now this is another roller coaster, okay? And the Falcon Flyer is just a massive roller coaster. They've even got some penguin or bird face over there, which I'm guessing is obviously a falcon. Now what we can do is we can put down a minecart. I'm not sure which way this roller coaster is supposed to go, but I guess I'm just going to wing it. So on this version of Minecraft that's pretty old, you can't actually hold forwards on a minecart. You have to manually push it and then jump inside. But let me just show you this roller coaster. So this thing's pretty cool. Like I said before, you can make some pretty amazing roller coasters on Minecraft when you do actually have powered rail to make them function properly. I guess all of the other roller coasters on the other maps weren't really supposed to work. They were just part of the build. But as you can see, we have an absolutely massive drop here. And I think this goes inside that glass tunnel. Where does this go? Okay, this goes underground and it shoots me through this really cool glass tunnel, and then we should be able to come up here. Now I'm not sure what that sign said. Then we stop and we get shot by some arrows, which is pretty tricky, but it doesn't kill us. And we go through a strange room. So I think that was actually supposed to be the start of the roller coaster just then, and I think the arrows are supposed to push you along. But now we can see which direction you're supposed to actually ride on. So this whole thing works. This is a really cool roller coaster build. I'm pretty sure roller coasters were like the first thing that any of us made in Minecraft. I think as soon as there was a creative mode, I think roller coasters were the first thing we did. And back in the day, there was no creative mode originally on Minecraft, so you had to just spawn all of the items manually or just use an inventory editor. I think most people like me back in the day, they used an inventory editor tool before creative was added just to cheat all the items in. And this pig is ruining the whole map. Okay, I'm gonna have to deal with this pig so he doesn't stop me from using the roller coaster again. Unfortunately. Luckily for him, I've got one more minecart left, otherwise I would have been triggered. Remember on the last roller coaster, we could only drop from the top to get the momentum, but when we have the powered rail, we can actually go directly up the roller coaster's track face as well. So that's the Falcon Flyer. I actually really like this map. I've not tried any of these maps before this video, but I think this is a good roller coaster build, especially because they've used the fences to act as supports, which is more realistic because roller coasters actually do look like that. And they've put the correct types of rail on it to make it work. Okay, so the next one is SM64. So this is a Super Mario map, or it's supposed to be a Super Mario map, which is built off the Super Mario 64 game. So this is supposed to be Peach's Castle, but it doesn't look to be Peach's Castle because it spawned me in the middle of some really random place. Like, is this a cursed Minecraft map? I don't really think this is a Super Mario map. Maybe it's giving me like the wrong download. Creeper's Trap. Okay, this is interesting. So the water pushes it and then there's lava to kill creepers. This is like the very old kind of mob grinding. Like, you'll see things far more advanced than this nowadays. Okay, I don't think this is the map which I downloaded. I downloaded a Super Mario map, but for some reason it's put me on someone's like custom server spawn. This looks more like the Krusty Krab off SpongeBob than a Super Mario Castle. Ooh, interesting. Waterfall. There's like a hidden base behind the waterfall. What's inside here? I kind of like, though, how they've put a waterfall in front of the doors. That's a little bit different. I haven't seen that before in any builds. Then over this way, it says Castello, which I think means castle. Ah, okay, so this leads to the castle. Okay, so this is the Super Mario Castle. So I guess when I downloaded the map, I downloaded the whole server spawn as well. And then up here we have this Aztec-looking temple, which is really cool. This says Tumulo Bowser's. I think that means Bowser off Super Mario. So this might be Bowser's castle, maybe? This looks really cool. It's kind of like a temple-looking structure. So this is the way to the Super Mario 64 castle. So if you've played the game, it has a castle entrance and it has all these different paintings which you can jump through to teleport to the different levels. Okay, so if we go up here now and we carry on alongside this red wool path, it should lead us now to the castle area. Ooh, this room looks nice. I always like rooms which are underwater that have glass in them. So this is inside the castle itself, I'm pretty sure, which is yet again used in mossy cobblestone, which I really like the look of. Ah, okay, right, this makes sense. This looks exactly like it did in the game. So this is Peach's Castle off Super Mario 64, which is really cool. They've got the whole courtyard and the garden area, and then the castle outside here looks really cool. So this is what I downloaded the map for. I had no clue that we're on the right map at first, but yeah, this is exactly what it's supposed to be. I'm going to put a picture on screen though now for people who don't know what it looks like. This is actually a really good build. Like, they captured the whole game theme and feeling completely with this. I'm actually interested to go inside though, because like I said before, inside it's an absolutely massive room with a staircase and then lots of different sub-rooms with paintings in them, which lead to all the different levels. They've used wool, green and blue, to make the room vibrant, which looks nice. It would have been a lot nicer if it was daytime though, so we could see everything. And then in here is one of the rooms with all the paintings inside. And as you can see, when we go up the staircase, there's 2 open doors and a big yellow thing here. This would be one of the paintings in the game where you jump through and then you get teleported to one of the levels. Okay, so the next map is SeaWorld. Now this isn't actually SeaWorld. This is a huge giant sea monster. Now this caught my eye because it's really super basic, but I kind of like the build because basically they've made a sea monster which wraps around the whole island with tentacles and this huge big head over here with big fangs and teeth. And this is probably one of the most simple builds you'll actually see. This is supposed to be his head. The whole headpiece is just made out of tons of obsidian, and then the teeth are just made out of, I think, wool. So there's only 2 block types out of this whole build, but it just looks super cool. You have to get far out to actually see what it's supposed to be, because when you're that close up you can't really have a good idea, but just look at that. I'm going to try and get a little bit of a better view from the far side, but now you can see the whole island being dominated by this huge sea monster, which just looks super awesome. The reason I like this map is there's no kind of builds like this one nowadays in Minecraft. Most of them are huge big city builds, but this is just really basic, but it also looks kind of nice. You can tell that they've built it completely manually as well, because there's not really too much complexity to it. Okay, so the second to last map is Funland, so I'm guessing this is another kind of funfair park. Welcome to Funland. Yellow paths mark the entrance to rides, red paths mark the exits. You may want some spare carts and supplies. Okay, so we have some golden apples over here which we can stack, and some minecarts. Most rides start by pushing the button. Feel free to eat at any of the restaurants. Enjoy your stay. Okay, so this is a nice little map. So this is another funfair map, so we've already played one of these, so I will try and rush through it. But I have higher hopes that this map might be better than the first one. So literally as soon as we come in, there's just tracks and just huge towering buildings everywhere. It's kind of overwhelming, to be honest. Monorail main station entrance. Okay, let's head down to the monorail. So they've already done something right because they have powered rail again, so this might actually be a good map. And then we can press the button and the powered rail will begin. Now, one interesting thing is, remember, you have to give the cart a little bit of a push. And then now we're going to ride the monorail, which should take us all the way around the side of the park. So now we can get a good view of everything from here. I don't think I'm going to ride everything. I just want to kind of have a good look at the map. We have an Egyptian temple over there. We're going past a castle. And this is another huge roller coaster. I do obviously want to try the roller coaster. We are riding on the monorail right now, which is just basically like a train to view everything. But I do want to see if the roller coaster rides a little bit better than the last one. So there's different stations for the monorail. This is the monorail south station, and then there's a boardwalk station. So we can press the button to push the cart along again to go to the next station, which is a really cool feature. And then if we drop down here, we can actually use the roller coaster. I think this is a roller coaster. I don't know what it is. I think this connects to the main line. And this is the main roller coaster on the map. Very small, but still pretty cool. Okay, I'm really curious about this one. I'm going to have to ride this one. This is called the Red Devil. Okay, the Red Devil entrance. So we have some more minecarts. I'm just going to yeet all of these because I might actually need them. And we already have a minecart over here. So how do we start this thing? Is there a button? Ah, the button's here. Okay. Okay, so the reason why this intrigued me is just look how high up this thing goes. I don't know if it stops and then comes back down, which I'm guessing is what it does. Now, from the bottom, I thought this thing just dropped off the edge. That's the reason why I want to actually go on it. But what's cool about this is it stops at the top periodically, and then you can press the button to start it again. So we could technically just get out of the cart and then look around and have a view of the whole map. Now, I think that's actually a really cool feature. Boom! And then we can come all the way back down again. And it does actually go underground too. But I don't want to go on the ride forever. Temple of the Evil King. Okay, so this is the pyramid we saw earlier, which is another roller coaster. Okay, so there's tons of roller coasters on this map. And then there's a huge heart tower here, the Kissing Tower. Okay, what's inside here? This actually looks really cool inside. Are we going to have to climb the whole thing? So this is just a gigantic climbing staircase. I guess we're going to have to manually climb this whole thing to the top. How high does this actually go? There is actually a pretty good view from here though. And then we go up this gigantic ladder, which has multiple rooms. And then we shall get to the top, which is this giant big red room where we can see over the whole park. I would say that was probably the better theme park, but since we've already played a theme park map, I didn't want to spend so much time going on every single ride. But the last map which I'm going to play is a timeless classic. This is probably one of the highest rated maps on all of Minecraft. Literally everyone's played this. This is an old map from 2011, I believe. Maybe 2010. This is the Temple of Notch. So this is a super old map where basically it was all about luck, okay? So what you had to do is you had to walk up here and you had to give some kind of offering to the temple. I think it was a gold bar, and when you drop the gold bar in there, you can see that the doors actually open, okay? And then we can go inside here, and then the doors open here and we can see a Notch with a smiling face. Now two things happen here. Either it's a good thing or a bad thing, and it's completely random. Now if he cries tears and water comes down, then that means that you die. Or you usually die, but luckily for me, I was standing on the edge of this block where I guess it just didn't kill me. But if he starts crying tears, you drop down here into a pool of lava and die basically. And you would fall all the way down here and die at the bottom. But then there's an endless chest here, so every time you respawn, you can spawn some gold ingots, and then you can do the whole process over again. So I could go all the way back down here, off and notch some more of my belongings and hope that he doesn't kill me. We'll drop the gold ingot down, it'd start the whole process again and open up the redstone doors, and then we can actually start again. So I'm going to stand here, and as you can see, his eyes open again, and everything's normal. Then he starts crying, and the floor opens up, and then you drop into a huge pit of lava. So that's what happens on the bad outcome. Now I'm going to see if I can actually try and get the good outcome. I think I remember it rewarding you with tons of diamonds, but I really can't remember. Okay, let's drop some more ingots inside here. Hopefully he has a change of heart this time and doesn't kill me. Like I said, it's entirely random, so he could just start crying again and just kill me a second time, which has happened, I think. Okay, there we go. There's the third time he's going to kill me. I wonder if he's going to be more generous if we just give him more gold ingots. Maybe if we just drop like 4 in this time instead of 1. I don't really think it affects anything. But maybe if we're more generous in our offerings, then maybe he'll be kinder to us. We've given him 4 ingots. We've given him a total of like probably 10 ingots now. So what's he going to do? Oh, okay. He's going to kill us for the last time. Rip. So that's the Temple of Notch. It's usually a good or bad outcome. He usually kills you, but sometimes the rarer outcome is I think he showers you in gold and diamond ingots. This is a really funny map. I reckon this is probably one of the best classic maps on Minecraft. I think this map just describes Notch perfectly, because this is when he sold the game. He's probably crying still. Oh snap, wait, we got the good outcome. Oh snap, damn, we got like 30 diamonds and 30 gold. Okay, that's cool. I guess Notch is happy now. And it plays this awesome notebook music and still keeps giving me more. You can see that it actually rains them down up from here. So there must be some dispensers up there that rain down all of these diamonds and stuff. So I can't really do anything with these diamonds, especially because now the door's shut on me. So I can't ever go back out and use them to craft. So even if you win, you still lose on this map. But make sure to smash the like button, especially because we just got 3 diamonds from Notch. Subscribe with notifications turned on, and I'll be back for another Minecraft mods video tomorrow.